assure you all that the President has already directed the Minister of Education to get this university captured in this year's budget.
Education and Skills Acquisition Vice President speaks on enhancing education opportunities for Nigerians. Agric sector in focus as Senate moves to amend Enabling Act on Universities of Agriculture.
Produce socially mature agriculturists to exploit existing agro infrastructure.
I like science because I want to be a computer scientist.
International Day of Women and Girls in Science focuses on deepening gender equality to overcome barriers. Good evening and welcome to the Network News. I am Olajide Bello. Joining me in the business news segment is Benny Adams. Benny, it's 100 days in office for the Minister of Trade and Investments. What's the economy like?
A whole lot of wins, one win from one win to another. And in the capital market, investors are smiling home with 426 billion naira. You need to be a part of it.
Definitely, I will, Benny. And of course, Bade Adeleye is standing by with sport updates. Bade, what's the latest from the Champions League fixtures?
Record winners Real Madrid are playing away to Manchester City in the first leg of the playoffs of the UEFA Champions League. Big names involved, big game, big night.
All right, buddy, many thanks. And remember, you can watch these broadcasts live on our website, nta.ng/live, and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen. The federal government will take over NAC University Kachia, Kaduna State, and transform it to a modern citadel of learning. Vice President Kashim Shettima conveys President Tinubu's directive at the formal handover of the institution's assets to the federal government by the EFCC at the Presidential Villa. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports.
This event is coming after a federal high court in Abuja has ordered the final forfeiture of the private-owned NOC University to the federal government. The private institution is now named Federal University of Applied Sciences, Kachia, Kaduna State, in fulfillment of a promise made to the people of southern Kaduna. Vice President Kashim Shettima paid tribute to those instrumental in the institution process, especially their commitment to fostering peace and progress in the region, assuring them of immediate commencement of the institution's operations.
I want to assure you all that the President is determined to redefine the meaning and concept of modern governance, and that requires us embracing all tendencies. But this is a win-win situation for all of us. And I want to assure you that the President has already directed the Minister of Education to get this university captured in this year's budget.
Beyond education, Vice President Kashim Shettima reaffirmed the administration's commitment to provide infrastructure development in southern Kaduna, particularly in road construction.
Today we are celebrating this major educational transformation in Kaduna State. Of course, this university is a special university for applied science, just like the Minister of Education has mentioned, but I would like him to speak on the nature of the school. Like I said, it's a special school.
The first set of students should be admitted during this 2025 academic session. I've commissioned a team of senior staff at the Federal Ministry of Education, as well as National University Commission, to go right there immediately to do the verification of the asset that is there. And as you heard the governor has promised to make the certificate of occupancy available to us within the next 7 days.
We've been able to recover this, and we are able to give it back to the people who ordinarily should have been beneficiaries of that process of crime. So our own rule is very simple. We recover the assets. We have given it back to the government, who, of course, in turn has given it back to the people for the utmost benefit of the people of Southern Kaduna.
Well, for us, education is the major industry in our area, apart from agriculture. And a lot of people are yearning for this kind of opportunity because they qualify for courses into universities. Unfortunately, their opportunities are limited, so they are unable to get into university. So this opens greater opportunities for them.
This has shown repeatedly the love and commitment Mr. President has for Nigerians, because this is a Nigerian product. It's not only for Kaduna State, it's for the entire country, Nigeria, because we believe this institution coming on at this time will enable Nigerians build the capacity of all Nigerians.
Chief of Defense Staff General Christopher Musa and other stakeholders said the establishment of the university is the demonstration of government's dedication towards expanding the nation's human capital and capacity development, as well as an idea that will bring peace to the region. From the State House, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
And still talking education, a new citadel of learning, the Ahmadiyya's University has held its inaugural matriculation ceremony of 40 students for 2024-2025 academic sessions. President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, represented who performed the official unveiling ceremony, says education remains the most powerful tool for advancing civilization. Ngozi Okafo reports.
Located 24 kilometers away from the capital city, the Amadeus University Amizi Ikwano local government area of Abia State presents huge opportunities to the people, corporate bodies and governments. Unveiling the plaque, Senate President represented, while speaking on the importance of education, commended the efforts of the founder to have established a world-class hub for academic distinction and urged the students to make good use of the opportunity.
Amadeus falls within the bracket of the universities that will raise quality education and bring education nearer to our people.
It is a dream come true for the founder, chairman, board of trustees of the university, Dr. Godwin Wabonka, an economist who says his wealth of experience has enabled him put up a top-notch center for academic excellence.
With God as our foundation, there are no limits to what we can strive. May Amadeus University continue to shine as a beacon of knowledge, innovation, and transformation.
Funding are in place in the university, all in an attempt to sustain the culture of excellence.
The benevolence of host communities in willing the yielding land and space for the development of the university.
This school is an amazing school. Right from the start, I love this school, and I'm sure other people are going to come to will also love it.
Goodwill messages from Abia State Governor represented the academia and other reputable individuals who graced the occasion centered on the gains the university held and encomium to the founder for his vision and selflessness. Highlights of the event were early procession by visitors and Senate of a university and admission of the students into the 4 faculties of the institution, including science, engineering, social and faculty of allied health science. Ngozi Okafo, NTA News.
And from the National Assembly, Senate is making a push towards robust agricultural activities in Nigeria, being a major contributor to the nation's gross domestic product. It has, in this regard, passed for second reading a bill to amend the Federal Universities of Agriculture Act to enable the establishment of the Federal University of Agriculture, Akwa Ibom State, for enhanced research. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports on these and other Senate engagement.
Bamidele says establishments of the institution would enhance research and innovation as well as accelerate agricultural practice across the country.
Demands for agricultural products are rising rapidly due to unprecedented rise in population. Therefore, establishment of specialized universities as contemplated by this bill is sacrosanct.
To bring about industrialization and also to tackle the issues of economy and unemployment.
The entirety of the federal constituency contributed a lot to agriculture in the First Republic. In fact, it was from this ABAC that they took the first seat from there to go and develop in Malaysia.
In another development, Senate has given 1 month to the contractor handling the renovation of the chamber to rectify all lapses or have the contract terminated following malfunction of the communication system during sitting.
We have pleaded and pleaded and pleaded. Is it FCDA or is it FCT that is handling the innovation?
Yeah.
We don't have a say. And we are the ones to use it.
Away from plenary, the Minister of Finance, Wale Adu, and the Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Emomotimi Akama, appeared before the Senate Committee on Capital Markets for interactions on the 2025 fiscal proposal, during which the committee requested approval of 10 billion naira intervention fund for the capital market to regain investor confidence.
We are advocating for that special funding to finance literacy development in the capital market, because it does appear to me that Nigerians are not aware of the enormous benefit accruing to them in the capital market. I'm not sure they're aware.
This stock exchange is very pivotal to the success of our economy, bringing investors in.
The minister used the opportunity to highlight some economic interventions of the present administration and successes recorded so far. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
And away from the National Assembly, in the year 2024, reforms in the oil and gas sector have made Nigeria the most attractive investment destination in the continent, with $5 billion in signed investment commitment. At the commencement of 2025 ministerial press briefing, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, says renewed hope is in progress with the disbursement of 32.8 billion naira to benefiting students under the Nigerian Students' Loan Fund, NELFund. Saliu Abdullahi Gwanara reports.
Ministerial press briefings hosted by the Ministry of Information and National Orientation are platforms members of the Federal Executive Council used to update Nigerians about the activities of the government. Since inception, 25 out of the 47 ministers driving the Renewed Hope agenda have so far featured in the briefings.
We have encouraged these ministers to come with heads of various agencies as they deem relevant, so that Nigerians will have the opportunity to interrogate their programs and ask questions where necessary. Now, this is important and is in line with the desire of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to always inform Nigerians about what government is doing. The transparency and accountability is absolutely critical in the management of affairs of any nation.
And we thank you for this level of sincerity.
The host minister, Mohammed Idris, is leading the way as he sets agenda for the year 2025 as a year of consolidation with priority to fast-track the delivery of critical programs such as the Nigerian Students' Loan Fund, healthcare, compressed natural gas, national values charter, infrastructure, and food security.
As we await the passage of the 2025 Appropriations Bill by the National Assembly, it is obvious that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is planning a great future for Nigeria. On account of the bold efforts of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we have seen the following taking shape across the land: greater fiscal headroom at all levels of government, a reformed and less burdensome tax regime, a landscape transformed into a giant construction site, more money in the pockets of Nigerians through students' loan, cash transfers, business grants, and many more. True to the promise of his campaign, President Tinubu is bringing renewed hope to all Nigerians, male and female, young and old, in every corner of our country. I invite all Nigerians to take advantage of these various opportunities and to please rest assured that the best is yet ahead.
Success story of the government through fiscal economic reforms, foreign exchange, oil and gas reforms, Electricity Act and local government autonomy, the minister assured will be sustained. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara, NTA News.
And on telecoms tariff hike, the House of Representatives has asked the Minister of Communications, Innovations and Digital Economy, as well as the Nigerian Communications Commission, to put on hold the increase in telecoms tariff until the services improves. Lawmakers at Tuesday's plenary argue that raising the tariffs currently would be unfair to Nigerians who already struggle with poor services. National Assembly correspondent Mitaire Ikpen reports.
The 50% tariff increase for telecom services recently approved by the Nigerian Communications Commission is still generating debate. Lawmakers debated the justification for an increase, with some citing erratic telecom services as reason to put the hike in tariffs on hold.
It is imperative that the telecommunication company improve on their service delivery for network, which Nigeria have been yearning for.
How do we expect them to increase their performance, knowing that prices of virtually all the various indices have increased?
You can't be paying for something you don't enjoy. You will agree with me that services in the telecom industry right now is not at its best. In Nigeria, you have to carry more than one phone. For what reason?
This motion is referred to the Committee on Communication for further legislative action.
In a separate motion, the House urged the federal government to boost counter-terrorism efforts in Borno State to prevent further insurgent activities.
The continued terrorism attack in Haul, Askira-Uba, Chibok, and other parts of Borno State not only threaten the safety and well-being of residents, but also undermine national security.
It is high time for us to stem the insecurity in this country and bring it to a total stop.
A bill seeking a regulatory body for cases of organ harvesting, transplant, and donations passed second reading.
It's my pleasure
Speaker Tajuddin Abbas announced Isiaka Ibrahim from Ogun State as new Deputy Chief Whip of the House to replace the late Adewumi Ononuga, based on recommendation from the APC caucus. Meanwhile, the House Committee on Nigeria-China Relations received a delegation of the Nigeria-China Strategic Partnership to deepen areas of collaboration.
Mining, manufacturing, construction, and that's where we want to review in future to see Nigeria not a trade partner with China, but a developmental partner.
We also see ourselves in the next 5 years to be in a net surplus position. There's nothing Brazil is doing with China that we cannot do in Nigeria. And also leverage China's modernization policy for industrialization of Nigeria.
The Nigeria-China Strategic Partnership is driving Nigeria's socio-economic transformation by attracting Chinese investments to the country. From the National Assembly, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
You're watching the Network News. More reports when we return. Thanks for being there. February 11th is marked the world over as International Day of Women and Girls in Science. It is to recognize the crucial role women and girls play in science, technology, engineering and mathematics, STEM. In Nigeria, where gender equality is an ongoing challenge, the day is a moment to celebrate achievements of women in these fields and advocate great opportunities. Justin Bemoye looks at the significance of this day in the Nigerian context.
2025 marks the 10th anniversary of the International Day of Women and Girls in Science and the 30th anniversary of the Beijing Declaration. The day also provides a platform for action, two significant milestones in the global effort to promote gender equality and women's empowerment. As the day celebrated, the theme for this year, Unpacking STEM Careers, Have Voice in Science, resonates deeply in Nigeria, where many women continue to break barriers in science and innovation. While challenges persist, Nigeria is slowly but steadily transforming its landscape, inspiring a new generation of young women to see themselves as scientists, innovators, and leaders. Women like this one are part of a growing community of female scientists who, despite facing societal and cultural challenges, have excelled in their respective fields. Across Nigeria, women scientists are pioneering innovations from advancing medical research to developing sustainable agricultural techniques. These breakthroughs are transforming both local communities and global industries. In addition to established scientists, many young girls in schools across Nigeria are embracing STEM subjects with greater enthusiasm, encouraged by role models and mentorship programs. Organizations like the National Office for Technology Acquisition and Promotion, NOTAP, are working hard to ensure that more women and girls have access to education, tools, and support to pursue careers in the sciences as well as research and innovation.
We are also trying to catch them young at the secondary school level.
These voices of change are being echoed across Nigeria's academic institutions, government policies, and private sector initiatives. Today, women and girls in science are not just celebrated for their achievements, they are being empowered to lead the charge towards a more sustainable future. Justin Bemunyi, NTA News.
And now joining me to speak more on the International Day of Women and Girl in Science is Queen Chibueze. She's a fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. You're welcome to the Network News.
Thank you so much.
Okay, despite progress, the female gender remains underrepresented in STEM fields. What are the biggest barriers preventing them from pursuing careers in science, and how can these be addressed?
Yes, the biggest barriers that have affected girls, women, in pursuing their careers, you will see stereotypes and biases. You know, there is also unconscious bias inside the classroom. The stereotype where the children will imagine that they don't have somebody they look up to. You can also come in as mentorship, lack of mentorship and networking, where they say they don't have somebody to look up to as a woman who will teach them, who will guide them, and the male counterparts, you know, are like very busy trying to show that they can really do it, and as a woman, they are considered weak. These are the challenges. And in bridging these gaps, you know, the government has a lot of roles to play. They should not make unsupportive policies. They should make policies that are very supportive for women, and also they should provide the quota system that targets a specific number for women in every policy they want to make. All those things are to help in bridging these gaps.
Okay, now, as you know, aside the fact that government has a major role to play in this regard, as a fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, what inspired your own journey, and what advice would you give to young girls aspiring to enter STEM fields?
Yes, my own journey was merely inspired by curiosity and passion. You know, I had that passion in me. I kept destroying things, equipment. Once they buy it, you see me playing with it, I will destroy it and start fixing it again. So my mother became that mentor that I needed. She kept encouraging me that since you can remove all these things and put it back, that means you will make a good engineer. That was where my own journey started. And I want to encourage the girls that they should seek their own passion, you know, explore things, don't be shy. And then when you are doing that, try to create a good network, try to, you know, leverage on the persons that are already in the field. Don't stay quiet, don't stay in one place, don't feel shy about it. Ask relevant questions, and then you see yourself going.
Okay, very quickly now, just before I let you go, can you share some notable contributions of other women scientists, particularly in Nigeria, Africa, or globally, that you think can inspire the young generation and that can have a significant impact to the society?
Yes, you have Nzombi of Kenya, who at the moment turns plastic waste into bricks that are stronger than concrete. You also have Teresa Izei of Congo, who built the humanoid the humanoid traffic robot that aids traffic control in Congo. You also have in Nigeria a woman that, you know, I give so much respect, who broke the barrier after 64 years of the Nigerian Society of Engineers to become the first female president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. That's Engineer Margaret Aina Oguntala, FNSC, the president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers today.
All right, many thanks. I know you have lots and lots of examples and information to reel out, but we're very sorry that's the much we'll be able to take. But all this, many thanks, Queen Chibweze, fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, for your inputs on the network news.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, moving on. It's good news for young Nigerians seeking entrepreneurial opportunities as the federal government has unveiled the long-awaited national policy on skills development in both formal and non-formal education. Stakeholders describe this as a game-changing initiative that will enhance versatility in the sector. Zenred Ding reports that implementation of the policy is set to begin in September 2025.
Imagine a Nigeria where every individual is equipped with a skill and there is at least one person to meet every economic need in the country. With this policy now in place, achieving the educational goals of the renewed Hope Agenda appears closer than ever. The initiative focuses on 4 key areas: foundational literacy and numeracy, transferable skills, digital skills, and job-specific skills. These components will be implemented in stages through a structured, inclusive, and gender-sensitive approach, integrated with green skills to ensure that graduates' competencies align with labor market demands.
We must be proactive in anticipating these changes and adapting our skills development strategies accordingly.
It is built on the understanding that human capital is our greatest resource, and that investing in skill development is an investment in our nation's future.
Our roles as educators is to synthesize this knowledge and skills that children and young people need.
It's essential that we don't forget that skills also build individuals that enable them to thrive in societies, they contribute back to societies.
The policy covers children and young Nigerians between the ages of 3 and 24 years, addressing both developmental and humanitarian contexts. In Abuja, Zenred Dingmun, NTA News.
To foster greater transparency and strengthen bond between government and its people, Jigawa State Governor Umar Namadi has launched an innovative citizens engagement program. This initiative is designed to keep the administration accountable to its promises while providing platform for open dialogue and collaboration with citizens of the state. Muhammad Musa Askira reports.
The event sparked a groundbreaking initiative where elected officials and government representatives provide comprehensive updates to the electorates on their achievements so far on the ongoing efforts in the state to deliver people-centered developmental projects within each local government area, according to the promises made to them during the electioneering campaigns. Encouraged by the positive responses from the people at the event, Governor Umar Namadi says the engagement shows APC has strong support at the grassroots level, which he notes further motivates his government to work harder.
You can hear the acknowledgements they have both on the federal government and on the state government, meaning that people have agreed that APC is the right party and the APC is the party to do. And therefore, this has confirmed to us that we should also put more effort to continue to serve the people, because the people are appreciating what we are doing to them.
I made you a promise during the campaign that Malam Umar will do better than Badaru. I thank God he proved me right, and I have fulfilled my promise.
The interactive platform tagged Gwamnati da Jama'a has been held as both exciting and enlightening by the attendees, setting a new standard for government citizens' engagement in Jigawa State. From Dutse, Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
In 2024, the Nigeria Customs Service achieved significant milestones in revenue collection, trade facilitation and enforcement. The service made 3,555 seizures with a duty-paid value of 35.29 billion naira. Well, let's bring in our correspondent, Kunle Adeye, with a fact sheet on NCA's activities in 2024. Kunle, can you give us more insight as to the measures adopted by the Nigerian Customs Service to achieve this feat?
Definitely, Jide will give you that right now. Let's tell you that in 2024, the revenue target for the Nigeria Customs Service was 5.03 trillion naira, and it eventually generated 6.105 trillion naira. This implies that it surpassed its revenue target by 1.03 trillion naira, representing a 20.02%. And for the year, besides this, the service also gave those it labeled economic saboteurs a hot chase when it comes to economic saboteur. It went ahead and made a lot of seizures, resulting in 3,555 seizures. And the freight value on these seizures was to the tune of 28.46 billion naira. And talking about the duty, it stood at 6.83 billion naira. Let's quickly give you the types of seizures that were made in 2024 now. Let's start with arms and ammunition. 900 arms and 113,472 rounds of ammunition were confiscated. That was quite alarming on the part of the Nigeria Customs Service. Then, secondly, as regards narcotics and illicit drugs, the service also went ahead to make some interceptions. It was to the tune of 105 seizures nationwide. And away from the narcotics, let's talk about the unauthorized pharmaceutical products. Customs made some seizures, well, 40 seizures in all, and 175,676 pieces, 6,271 cartons of various medicaments. The value on these seizures on unauthorized pharmaceuticals stood at 3.04 billion naira. And from that, let's quickly move to the animal and wildlife crimes. 76 seizures were made in all, and the value on these seizures was to the tune of 5.93 billion naira. Away from the animal wild crimes, quickly, and to other contrabands now. Well, start with rice. 183,527 bags of rice were seized in all. 3,785 bales of textile materials. The value stood at 945.9 million naira. Talking about footwears, beverages, and other consumables. Then, it's been in the news that the customs have also stopped importation of vehicles to land borders. So those who are involved in illicit acts, 397 vehicles were seized in all with value of 5.64 billion naira. Then moving ahead to smuggling of petroleum products, 1,716 liters of petroleum products were smuggled last year, and eventually they were seized. 55 arrests were made. And now when you do the comparison to what the custom did in 2023, you will see that there was 100.92% increase in duty paid value of these seizures. Then from 17.56 billion naira in 2023 to 23.29 billion in 2024. Well, it's 2025 now, and custom is still unrelenting in its onslaught against these economic saboteurs. Well, that's fact this evening. I will now hand over to Benny Adams for business things. Hello, Benny. I guess it's sharing news from different sectors of the economy.
It's more sharing news from your end. Following those numbers, that means more money for government spending. Well, on our business tonight, we start by telling you that it has been an interesting 100 days in office, says the Ministers of Industry, Trade and Investment, as they believe the ministry has delivered quite a bit of impact for Nigerian businesses. In addition to investment retention, increased exports through trade facilitation, and more. And to ensure actualization, the ministry signed a memorandum of understanding with Ike Ekemode Foundation aimed at digitizing the ministry's processes, in addition to signing a performance contract between the ministry and its more than 20 agencies on top 3 game-changing projects of impact that also fits their mandate and budget. Well, moving on, Nigeria is set to host Africa's biggest gathering of finance and trade stakeholders come June 2030. It is the 32nd edition of the African Export-Import Bank annual meetings. The agreement was signed between the federal government and the Afri-Exim Bank with commitment to supporting Nigeria's economic development and promoting intra-African trade. The event is expected to attract more than 5,000 to 6,000 delegates from across Africa, the Caribbean, and beyond.
The board's decision to grant Nigeria the hosting opportunity is an eloquent testimony of Afri-Exim's implicit confidence in the administration of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
The government has consistently responded positively to capital calls, injecting significant equity into the bank even when the economic environment seemed challenging. Nigeria has attracted a cumulative disbursement of about $52 billion from Afri-Exim Bank.
Now, spotlight on trade. A young Nigerian is on the spotlight again. He is Eric Andrew, a final year student at Bayero University, Kano, and founder of Agrofixing, an organization in Nigeria successfully implementing solutions in agriculture and circular economy, being celebrated at the WTO's Young Leaders Program. He shares his impression about trade.
I am the founder and team lead of Agrofixing, a non-profit organization that creates innovative solutions in agriculture and circular economy to drive sustainable and equitable economic growth and climate action within grassroots communities. Trade for me is what keeps the world connected. So trade is what gets resources where they need to be. It's what makes sure that I am able to wear clothes, I am able to eat food, I am able to drive a car, even if I don't have all of the necessary things in my own place. So trade for me is what actually keeps the world moving.
And now, still talking trade, investors gained 426 billion naira as equities market rebounded, with the oil share index rising to 0.65%. And looking at it, Nigeria is on the green, as well as the Tunisia tune index on the green. For Nigeria, it is a 0.65% appreciation, while for Tunisia tune index is a 0.29%. And for South Africa stocks are down today by 0.20%. This is it on business, but do stay with us for more news after this break.
You will. Many thanks for being there. The Ministry of Solid Minerals Development has inaugurated a quadruple ICPM's laboratory for sample testing in the solid minerals sector. Mayor Ogidi reports that the project, co-founded by Nigerian government and World Bank, is domiciled in Nigerian Geological Survey Agency, Abuja.
Because let's analyze based on charge and mass.
A major step forward in the solid minerals sector in Nigeria. No more going abroad for sample tests. Nigeria now has ICP-MS laboratory at Nigeria Geological Survey Agency.
Most of our samples from Nigeria are taken outside Nigeria to laboratories outside Nigeria, and we are charged at exorbitant rates in dollars.
I, as an individual, and my research team have spent over $60,000 analyzing samples from those foreign labs in the last 2 years.
The acquisition of equipment like this, whether for data generation or for mineral analysis, will go a very long way to improve our image in the international community.
Permanent Secretary Mary Ogbe, standing in for Minister Dele Alake. And for him, beyond the excitement, there is need for diligence.
Take this equipment as a trust that you are holding for your children. Do not handle it like the normal is government property, is nobody's property. It's not enough for us to come here this morning and commission it. We want to hear that in another 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, it's still working.
The ICP-MS laboratory makes research easier for undergraduate students, generate revenue for the government, and simplify activities in the solid minerals sector. Mie Ogede, NTA News.
Stakeholders in the livestock industry have expressed worry about the growing illegal collection of multiple tax at roadblocks by non-state actors, describing it as an attempt to undermine the growth of the industry. This was part of the stakeholders' resolutions at a meeting with the Minister of Livestock Development, Idi Mukhtar Mahima, in Calabar, the Cross River State. Yusuf Jika reports.
The renewed hope agenda is yielding fruits in the livestock industry. This follows the minister's tour of states across the country to assess and evaluate existing infrastructure and deepen stakeholders' participation. The latest is Calabar with a clear roadmap to integrate key players' concerns in prioritizing pig and poultry farming and cattle production for consumption and export value.
We spend much on the road, and also when you come here, there are many challenges.
We need policies and programs that support pig farming, such as subsidies, training programs, and infrastructural development.
Livestock sector must move towards more sustainable practices.
In terms of extortions, we are going to take that up with the appropriate quotas to ensure that livestock transporters from all over the country are treated just like transporters of petroleum products are treated.
At the Government House Calabar, discussions centered on leveraging on over 24,000 Obudu cattle range to serve as one of the nation's hub for livestock development.
And we do feel that such an infrastructure should be resuscitated, it should be revitalized to receive animals and then answer its true name, Obudu Cattle Ranch.
The state government is building an airport, a cargo airport, which is like 40 minutes from where the ranch is. And if indeed a livestock is found there for export purposes,
setting up the right infrastructure that is necessary for ease of business in livestock sector.
Highlight of the visit was inspection to some livestock destinations in Calabar, where the minister promised intervention to scale up the transformation drive of the industry. In Calabar, Yusuf Jika, NTA News.
And from Calabar, let's take another break. Network News continues in a moment. Don't go away. Glad to know you're still there. Let's join Bade Adeleye for happenings in the world of sports. Bade, what's your team's standing in the Champions League?
Many thanks, Olajide, and of course, I'm neutral, but the big match between Real Madrid and Manchester City is very much on. We're waiting for the second half. But let's begin from home. As the Flying Eagles of Nigeria, the Nigeria Football Federation has invited 30 players to the camp of the team as head coach Aliyu Zubairu prepares them for their two-match tour of Egypt later this month. The seven-time African champions will clash with their Egyptian counterparts in Cairo, capital of Egypt, on the 25th and 27th of February. The two-time FIFA World Cup runners-up in 1989 and 2005, who came within breathing distance of the semi-finals at the FIFA Under-20 World Cup finals in Argentina before losing narrowly to Korea Republic after extra time, will join other African countries in the Under-20 Cup of Nations, which will be staged in Cote d'Ivoire. Straight to the UEFA Champions League, where Ousmane Dembele kept up his remarkable form in front of goal with a double as Paris Saint-Germain took a big step towards qualifying for the last 16 of the Champions League with a 3-0 win over French rivals Brest in the first leg of their playoff tie, concluded about an hour ago. 3 other matches are currently live, including the one between record winners Real Madrid, who are away to Manchester City. The citizens netted the first goal of the game in the 19th minute. And of course, we're waiting to see what is going to happen in the game. 2 other matches are currently live. PSV are currently losing to Juventus 1-0 at the moment, and the other game between Sporting Lisbon and Borussia Dortmund is goalless. And of course, a bit of tennis now as well. Number 3, Coco Gauff, says she's disappointed about her second-round elimination at the 2025 Qatar Open. The American lost in 2 sets, 6-7-5 in just 73 minutes to Marta Kosistov as the Ukrainian fought back from 3-1 down in the second set to wrap up the victory at the WTA 1000 event in Doha. It is a second successive defeat for Gauff, who received a bye in the first round and was playing for the first time since she lost to Paula Badosa in the quarterfinals of the Australian Open last month. The 2023 US Open champion was undone by 7 double faults and 39 unforced errors, while she managed just 8 winners. Well, that does it on sports. And of course, let's return to Olajide.
All right, many thanks, Bade, although you skipped the part that you forgot to tell me about your team's standing, but don't worry, we'll talk about that after the news. And that's it on the Network News. Many thanks for being a part of it. I am Olajide. Okay, just before we go, quickly, President Bola Tinubu expresses profound sorrow over the death of Chief Joop Beckert, a renowned published Dutch national who lived in Nigeria for over 60 years. Chief Beckert, 94, a naturalized Nigerian, made Ibadan, Oyo State, his home and dedicated his life to advancing Nigeria's publishing industry. In a statement by Special Advisor, Information and Strategy, Bayon Onuga, President Tinubu eulogized his breakthrough love for Nigeria and considerable contributions to the publishing industry. He prays that his soul find eternal rest and may his family draw strength from his legacy. Okay, now that's it on the Network News. Many thanks for being a part of it. I am Olajide Bello.